Have you ever wanted to make a delicious little treat but weren't quite sure how? Well, today I'm going to show you how to make mini sugar cookies that are easy to make and taste wonderful. First, make sure your workspace is nice and clean and tie back your hair if it is longer. Then, wash your hands. Make sure your hands are nice and dry. And preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then gather up your cooking materials, starting with your cooking tools. You'll need a mixing bowl, a smaller bowl, a cookie sheet, an oven mitt or two, measuring cups and spoons, a fork, butter knife, and a spoon. As for ingredients, because you can't make cookies without ingredients, you will need 4 tablespoons of butter, a quarter of a cup of powdered sugar, 3/4 of a cup of flour, cooking spray, 1½ tablespoons of milk, a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, frosting, and if desired, food coloring and sprinkles. Now it's time to get started on the dough. Take your fork and put your 4 tablespoons of butter into the mixing bowl. And mix it until it is creamy. This works a little bit easier if the butter is softened, but you do not want it to be melted. Butter needs to be creamy, which can take a minute, so be patient. Once it's nice and creamy, add your powdered sugar and mix it well. Make sure all the powdered sugar is mixed in. Once it's all mixed in, it's time to add the 1½ tablespoons of milk, and your 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Make sure not to add too much vanilla because it's a very strong flavor. Finally, you need to add your 3/4 of a cup of flour. Now mix it all very, very well. Make sure all the flour is absorbed. But don't worry if when you're done, the sugar cookie dough is a little bit crumbly. Because sugar cookie dough often is, no matter what type of sugar cookie you're making. Make sure everything gets mixed in very well. Now you're almost ready to bake. But first, there are a couple more things you have to do. Spray your cookie sheet with cooking spray and form the cookie dough into balls with your hands. Place them on the cookie sheet and flatten them slightly. Make sure that they're at least 1/2 inch apart on the tray. You should usually get about 12 to 15 cookies out of one batch, depending on how large you make them. Once your cookies are ready to put in the oven, put them in the oven for about 10 minutes or so. If you'd like to have colored frosting, you can scoop some frosting into a bowl with your spoon and mix in whatever color or colors of food coloring you desire. Once your cookies have been in the oven for about 10 minutes, you're going to want to check them to see if they're thoroughly cooked by splitting one in half and seeing if the middle is doughy. If it is, put it in for a few minutes. If it's not, take the cookies out. Once they're thoroughly baked, allow them to cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then you're ready to frost them. Use a butter knife and just carefully spread the frosting on the cookies. Make sure they each have about an even amount. Then, if you would like to use sprinkles, Just sprinkle them over the top of the cookies, like so. Again, try to make sure all the cookies get an even amount. And you're ready to enjoy your delicious treat that you created.